Hello and welcome to Joshua Wessex with me, Josh. On this channel, we try and use logic, reasoning, and common sense to the world around us to try and get through all the miasma and misinformation that we're constantly being fed. If you like this sort of stuff, please do like this video, subscribe to see more, and please go check out my other videos. Otherwise, we're going to get straight into it. So, in this video, we're going to be looking at food. So, mainly looking at food production in the United Kingdom. So as you can see here, we've got some lovely little farm animals, lovely cow, sheep and chicken, and we're just going to be talking about sort of how that works and how we eat them. So first things first, UK is a nation of animal lovers, so let's just kind of get out there. We do like our animals. My dog's currently sat on the bed, and I love him to pieces, more than most humans I've ever met. So because we like animals, the sad thing is we also like to eat them too. Meat is a part of our diet, and anyone who says not is probably a skinny little soy boy, so don't listen to them. This isn't a dig at vegetarians. You do you, but I'm going to eat my meat, thank you very much. So, because we like animals in the UK, farmers give them very good lives. They look after their animals, they treat them very well, but at the end of the day, they're going to get eaten. So what we do in the UK is they go off to the slaughterhouse, they get stunned, so they're rendered unconscious, and then they get killed, and then that way we can chop them up and put them on our dinner plates. So that's how we've been doing it for a wee while. I don't know exactly when the stunning came in, but essentially that's what we do. In recent years, we've invited lots of people into this country, and they've brought with them different cultures, different ways of doing things, and one of them involves something called halal meat. Now, in case you don't know what halal meat is, let me educate you. Here we've got two lovely halal butchers. Let's call them Mohammed. So, please notice the lack of beard nets. So, what halal meat is a special way in how to prepare meat in the Islamic religion, or the ideology, if you want to call it. They've been doing it for a long time. It's their way of sort of preparing the animal, cleaning the animal, getting it ready for consumption, which doesn't make their God angry. So, how do they do it, so you just say? So, similar to what we do, they look after the animals. Some love them a bit more than others. And then essentially, what will happen is it'll go off to the slaughterhouse, and instead of being stunned, essentially, they get the animal and jab it right in the neck, straight through the jugular. And then what happens is, because the animal's heart is still beating, it pumps out the rest of the blood in a way of sort of cleaning it and getting rid of any sort of not nice stuff. At the same time, they give it a whisper in the ear, a little blessing to their God, to make it so that, it is halal. Now, halal in the actual Islamic terms means permissible or lawful. So it is the lawful way or permissible way to slaughter an animal. It's what they do. They have to eat the meat like this. They can't eat meat that hasn't been halal slaughtered. And that's just it in a nutshell. That is halal. Now, there's nothing I said that's incorrect there. If you don't believe me or you think I'm just blowing smoke, why don't you go ask the RSPCA? So, the RSPCA, they've got a whole page on it talking about religious slaughter. So as you can see there, in the UK law, we are required to stun animals before slaughtering them, whereas in Jewish and Islamic communities, they don't. That's it, because it's just how they do things, I guess. It's a bit like Sikhs and motorbike helmets. Sikhs don't have to wear motorbike helmets because they've got their turban on. Doesn't stop them getting head injuries when they crash though. So that's it. So, as it says here, why do we stun the animals? Well, as I said, it's a much nicer way. They don't feel any pain. I mean, if someone said to you, I'm going to stab you in the neck, you might say, okay, can you please knock me out first before you do it? Okay, because it's just going to be so much nicer than... Right, now, as you can see here, the number of animals that aren't stunned because they've been slaughtered is 26 million chickens, 3 million sheep, and 35,000 cattle. You may have noticed here, I'm still calling it halal, even though the Jewish people do it. To be perfectly blunt with you, Jewish people don't tend to try and make other people do things their way. They usually live in little secluded communities and just do things their way alongside us. So that's why I've got no beef with this. So with that in mind, then that is halal slaughter. Okay, so and as you can see here, the RSPCA is saying, what are we doing about it? Well, we're going to ask them to review their own policies. Well, if they've been doing something for the last 13 odd 100 years, I don't know how long they've been doing it for. I don't think they're going to suddenly change now. So that's that. All right, why am I making this video then? Well, very good question. Because Rupert Lowe here has sort of highlighted at Newcastle University, halal food is sort of being imposed on people. All the food on their campus, or their chicken and beef, I should say, is halal slaughtered. So, like it or loathe it, you're going to have it no matter what. Okay, that's that. In Wales, in Swansea schools, all their meat is halal slaughtered. Okay, so the kids don't get a choice in the matter. If you're a parent and you object to it, well, firstly, you need to find out first. And then if you do object to it, well, they'll say, okay, well, you have to bring your own lunch to school. Now, mind you, I have seen on Twitter, X, stories of schools saying to students, please don't bring any pork or non-halal products to class, to school, because it might offend some of your the other pupils. So even if you didn't want your child to eat halal meat, you wouldn't be able to bring them any other meat that wasn't in line with the school policy, which is absolutely ludicrous. But there you go. Now, with that in mind, then it's a bit of a weird thing because obviously Muslims need to eat halal meat, and they obviously need to know what meat is halal and what isn't when they go to the shops. So how do they work it out? Well, quick Google search here just lets you know. Most of the supermarkets do have halal food available. Now, Aldi and Lidl said that they don't. So you go there if you don't want to eat any halal. But the others, they have their own. You might have seen them. They're like their own halal sections. It'll just say halal meat, and then there's chicken and beef there. Funny thing, if you put any pork products in the halal meat section, they have to get rid of all the products there and then restock it because that food's then been like contaminated, even though they're all sealed. Obviously, I would never recommend anyone do it, but there's a few videos online of people doing it, and it is quite funny how they've got to get rid of it all. Yeah, that's it. Now, one problem with this, however, is in order to be halal certified, they need to get a halal certification. So then the slaughterhouse will become halal certified. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this video, in order for it to be halal, you need to have a Muslim make the kill, whisper sweet nothings into the animal's ear while it's conscious, and then it's halal. So, how do you actually know what food is halal or not? Well, the short answer is you don't. Because Catherine Blakelock here, who I've seen on X a few times, essentially, you'll get meat packaged up that's halal certified by the processing plant, slaughterhouse, abattoir, whatever. So they're halal certified, but it doesn't actually say on the product if it is or isn't, because there's no UK law requirement to suggest that food is halal certified. So Muslims can go to the halal section, get their meat there. I don't know whether if they go to another section and they know it's from a halal certified abattoir, whether that means they can have it or not. Now, with that in mind, if a Muslim can have it, that means it's haram, it's halal, it's fine. But then that also means that the meat you're eating has been slaughtered in that way. So yeah, it's either all halal fit meat or none of it is, but no one's telling us what way. And if you're like me, you actually do kind of consider, what you're putting into your body. I mean, we're getting so many additives and crap putting in our food every day. It might be nice to know exactly how it was killed. Now, what I mentioned earlier as well about, these people come from other countries. They're bringing, their cultures and things like that with us. They're also bringing their food standards with us. So I know that in the UK we do have food hygiene ratings, and that's wonderful, but that's usually only when the inspector comes round and they, get it all nice for them. In the meantime, can we guarantee that they are keeping up to the food standards that we expect in Britain? Probably not. So, what we have here is a halal meat van in Swansea. Now, we did mention Swansea about 2 minutes ago. That is where the school children were being forced to halal food. So, you imagine your food is coming out the back of that van. Now, most people know that when you see meat getting transported, it's usually on hooks, it's usually on racks, it's usually sort of wrapped, contained in a sort of clean environment. It's not stacked on the back of a very worn wooden pallet. So, also, there's some other boxes to the right there, as you can probably see. Fruit and veg. I don't think you're meant to have raw meat exposed to sort of maybe those things. I don't know what's in there. I'm just suggesting. So, yeah, not only are they bringing this sort of way of doing things that might not align with people's values, the also standards not that great either. So, just something to consider as well. Now, you might be thinking, okay then, Josh, maybe there is a lot of halal meat going around. Maybe it's not in the best condition. Maybe you got people's beard hair all over it. Hey, so what? Well, if we just look about the breakdown of how much halal meat apparently there might be within our food economy. So, 72% of sheep and goat is halal. So there's more than likely chance that if you do buy any sort of lamb or anything like that, venison, you are going to be getting it. Chicken, 13%. Now I know a lot of people do eat chicken, so 13 out of 100 of you are eating halal slaughtered chickens. Beef and cattle, 4%, quite low, so it's alright. And then pork is 0, because as I mentioned earlier, Jews and Muslims don't eat pork, so that's that. Now, that's halal meat then. So I hope I've educated you actually what halal meat is. It's the ritual slaughter of animals. They don't have to be stunned, and if anything, it's actually better for them if they're not stunned. They whisper a blessing into the animal's ear, and then they give it a good stabbing. So why might this actually be a problem? Well, 2 reasons. The first one should be a little obvious. Animal welfare. Now, as I said, we are an island of animal lovers. I don't want to take part in a, let's be frank, barbaric practice of draining an animal of its blood whilst it's alive. To me, that's pretty inhumane. If that's the sort of thing you don't care about, then I guess you're just different to me. So, me personally, I don't want halal food. They can do it if they like to, but as long as everyone knows it, and that's what these people want to prepare their meat, then hey, up to you. I don't hear Greenpeace or animal rights organisations running around telling everyone, oh, this is inhumane. They seem awfully quiet on the subject. I can't imagine why. That's it. And the second reason, this one's a bit more loose, I'd say. Christians. There's a lot of Christians in this country, or people that do kind of follow Christian teachings, may not call themselves Christians. However, one of the commandments is not to worship any other sort of god or idol. Now, down to your interpretation, Christianity and Islam are both Abrahamic religions, so they both come from Abraham. So you could argue that Christians and Muslims have the same God, in which case a Muslim blessing the animal as it's being slaughtered might just be a little quick Lord's Prayer before it dies. Other Christians do believe that, no, it's a different God, because obviously Muhammad thought Jesus was a prophet, not the son of God, therefore can't be the same God, in which case you're eating meat that has been blessed to another deity, which would actually go against the commandment. So, that's a bit loose. I don't follow that so much, but I have read people kind of use that explanation, and I don't know if it's got legs, but I just thought I'd throw it in there. So, that is halal meat. So, we don't know if it's in our food or not. We know that there are a lot of halal certified slaughterhouses, so are they doing it? We don't know. Animals are suffering because of it. Is that worth it? You tell me. And could you accidentally be eating something that's being blessed by another god? So, Up to you. But anyway, if you like this video, I know it's a bit, say a bit sad to be honest. I like animals. I don't want to see them getting killed in a horrible way. But I just thought it's been in the news. It's been in X. People don't actually know what it is. So now you do, and knowing's half the battle. So if you want to eat halal meat, you go for it. Otherwise, I wish you a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you next video. Bye bye.